Hello students and viewers. Today we are going to discuss Toru Dutt and her legacy of poetry, beauty and tragedy. In this presentation we are going to look at the different facets of Toru Dutt's life, her poetry, with special emphasis on two of her poems, our Casuarina Tree and Sita. Toru Dutt was an Indian woman poet who wrote both in English and in French. She was born to the family of Govind Chandra Dutt and her mother's name was Khetromoni. They belonged to the Rambagan Datta family. She was the youngest child after her sister Aru and brother Abju. The Dutt family became Christians in 1862 and left for the continent, first France and then staying in England where Toru continued her higher French studies. While living in Cambridge between 1871 and 1873, Toru attended the higher lectures for women at the university. Here she met and befriended Mary Martin, the daughter of Reverend John Martin of Sydney Sussex College. The friendship that developed between Toru Dutt and Mary Martin at this time continued in their correspondence after Toru's return to India. A collection of the correspondence includes her letters written from England to her cousins in India. However, there were a number of family tragedies that occurred to the Dutts. The youngest of the Dutt family children, Obju, died a few days before the family moved to France. Oru, Toru's sister, died a few years later, leaving the family shattered. After Oru's death, Toru had written, and I quote, "Of all sad words of tongue and pen, the saddest are these. It might have been." Toru herself died at the age of 21 years, drawing comparison with the precocious talent John Keats, who too died of consumption after bequeathing some unforgettable lyrics to English literature. Toru's first book was A Sheaf Gleaned in French Fields, and this earned her instant success. Her next book was inspired by her deep study of Sanskrit literature, Ancient Ballads and Legends of Hindustan, that was published in 1882. In this context, it is pertinent to mention that Govind Chandra Dutt regularly tutored his daughters Oru and Toru in the Sanskrit scriptures and literature. Toru's unfinished English novel Bianca, or The Young Spanish Maiden, appeared in the Bengali magazine in 1978. I beg your pardon, 1878. Her French novel Le Journal de Mademoiselle en Verse was published in Paris in 1878. This is the front page of the Ancient Ballads and Legends of Hindustan by Toru Dutt, which was given a befitting introductory note by the noted English writer Edmund Gosse. This, dear students, is Toru Dutt's poem, Our Casuarina Tree. Let us read the poem. Like a huge python winding round and round the rugged trunk, indented deep with scars, up to its very summit near the stars, a creeper climbs, in whose embraces bound no other tree could live but gallantly the giant wears the scarf, and flowers are hung in crimson clusters all the boughs among, whereon all day are gathered bird and bee. And oft at nights the garden overflows with one sweet song that seems to have no close, sung darkling from our tree while men repose. When first my casement is wide open thrown at dawn, my eyes delighted on it rest. Sometimes, and most in winter, on its crest, a grey baboon sits statue-like alone, watching the sunrise, while on lower boughs his puny offspring leap about and play. And far and near, kokilas hail the day, and to their pastures wend our sleepy cows. And in that shadow, on the broad plank cast by that hoar tree, so beautiful and vast, the water lilies spring like snow enmassed. But not because of its magnificence, dear is the Casuarina to my soul. Beneath it we have played, though years may roll. O sweet companions, loved with love intense, for your sakes shall the tree be ever dear. Blent with your images it shall arise in memory, till the hot tears blind mine eyes. What is that dirge-like murmur that I hear, like the sea breaking on a shingle beach? It is the tree's lament and eerie speech, and haply to the unknown land may reach. In our Casuarina tree, Toru uses the tree as a symbol of her memory, as well as the rich tradition of Indian culture and philosophy which molded the poetic and aesthetic vision of Indian poet creators. This is the very tree under which she played with her siblings, Oru and Obju, who are now dead. This is the tree which also becomes a mystical and spiritual existence of their emblem in their mind. K.R. Srinivas Iyengar, in his very important book on Indian writing in English, notes, "Our Casuarina tree is more than poetic evocation of a tree. It is recapturing the past and immortalizing the moments of time so recaptured. And hence, in Toru's poem, the tree becomes both the tree and the symbol, and in it are implicated both time and eternity." I would also ask you, dear students and viewers, to note that the meaning of the name of our poet Toru also is a green sapling, and it sheds an important light on her creation as well. Here we have two images. One, that of the tree of life, a depiction of Yggdrasil from the Icelandic saga, and another, a Casuarina tree in full bloom. We must note, dear friends and students, that the tree has always been an important symbol of life and vitality in our literature. In Indian literature also, we find some very important symbols of life, longevity, vitality in the tree. We next come to the poem Sita. Let us read the poem. Three happy children in a darkened room. What do they gaze on with open eyes? A dense, dense forest where no sunbeam pries, and in its center a cleared spot. There bloom gigantic flowers on creepers that embrace tall trees. There, in a quiet, lucid lake, the wild swans glide. There, whirring from the brake, the peacock springs. There, herds of wild deer race. There, patches gleam with yellow waving grain. There, blue smoke from strange altars rises light. There dwells in peace the poet anchorite. But who is this fair lady? Not in vain she weeps, for lo, at every tear she sheds, tears from 3 pairs of young eyes fall amain, and bowed in sorrow at the 3 young heads. It is an old, old story, and the lay which has evoked sad Sita from the past is by a mother sung. 'Tis hushed at last, and melts the picture from their sight away. Yet shall they dream of it until the day. When shall those children by their mother's side gather, ah me, as erst at eventide? In Sita, the poet uses a very interesting intertwining of mythology and memory to blend the tragic pathos of the banished queen Sita with the personal tragedy of the Dutt family, whose children used to listen the Sita legend from their mother. And Toru resorts to a unique handling of time and location in this poem. The Edenic forest where Sita, the consort of Lord Rama, spends her days of banishment with her twin sons, Love and Kush, in the hermitage, is juxtaposed with the cozy comfort offered by the Dutt household, both of which, however, become scenes of tragedy. One, a tragedy in mythology, another, a tragedy in the personal sphere. The poetic present, that is melancholy, desolate, is also deftly woven with the poetic past, which is happy and contented, and a mythological past that is sad and lonely, to elicit a keen perception of the essential pain of human existence. This, dear students and viewers, is a depiction of Sita with her twins, Love and Kush, in the dense, dense forest where no sunbeam pries. This is another depiction of a mother narrating the legend to her young children at bedtime. Let us now have a look at the poetic qualities of Toru Dutt which make her so immortal. Dutt's early poetry is a combination of freshness, ecstasy, and lyrical effusion. Her later poetry is, however, marked with melancholy and grief, even though the poetic grandeur is still obvious. Her remarkable description of natural settings and her love for ancient Indian legends and mythological characters are palpable in most of her creations. The Vedantic philosophy of life and death, memory as a mode of emancipation, and transience and permanence peep through many of her works and are the most important themes in most of her poetry. Here is an image of Toru Dutt's grave in Maniktala Cemetery in Kolkata. Thank you, dear students and viewers. I hope that this presentation will be beneficial in your study of Toru Dutt. Good luck.